communication by Morse code has been disappearing, replaced perhaps by the less distinctive swiping of satellite phone keyboards. Morse code is, of course, economical as a form of communication, but less economical in terms of the speed of speaking. But believe it or not, it's enjoying a revival. A niche one, but folks enjoying learning the code as a hobby and using it sometimes from exotic locations. Well, earlier I spoke to Howard Bernstein from the Long Island CW Club, which offers Morse code training. I started by telling him I thought the mode of telecommunication, Morse code, had all but disappeared.
Well, a lot of people thought that was the case, and we thought maybe it was going to diminish too. But there's been a resurgence of it. The main reason with the young people is that today people want to go outdoors and use amateur radio. And because radios have gotten smaller, so people like to go out into the state parks and the national parks, and some like to go on top of mountains and operate. If you have a Morse code radio, the radios can be smaller, some as small as the size of a pack of cigarettes. Plus, you really don't need to drag along a computer. So if you're going to be walking some distance into a park, it would be much easier to have lightweight gear.
I see, but hang on, this is because you wouldn't be able to use your smartphone, your cell phone, because there won't be signal probably in these more remote areas.
In some cases there would be, but on a mountain it might be difficult. It depends how far away from the nearest cell tower you are. But the radio, as you said, is a sure bet thing. It doesn't rely on cell towers. So if you have a small radio that you could put in your pocket and a small antenna, if you're using Morse code, you can really reach all over the world.
I'm going up a mountain. I've got my cigarette packet-sized radio set to Morse code. Who the heck am I Morse coding to?
You know, there are hundreds and thousands of people worldwide still using this. So if you listen around on the ham radio frequencies, you'll hear people. There'll be people wanting to reach you.
I think we need to hear some Morse code, Howard. And I know you're very deft at the craft of sending messages in it. But it takes quite a long time to say something, doesn't it? Just play me good afternoon. How quickly could you say good afternoon on Morse code?
Morse code Evan, is typically sent between 10 and 50 words a minute. So I have my Morse code key here set at 24 words a minute. And then I will just send to you right now, good afternoon, Evan.
That is a little quicker than I thought, although I think it would be quite difficult to receive that.
That's a very comfortable speed to receive for many experienced or advanced operators. Now, I could slow this down much slower and send that same thing. Well, that's the good, and the afternoon.
Yeah, that's enough. We've got it. So it's not that slow. And how long does it take to become very comfortable with this code, actually?
If you took, let's say, 2 of our classes a week, and if you practiced 20 to 30 minutes a day, we would say within 3 or 4 months, the average person should be ready to get on the air and be able to use some of the skill that they're learning. To get up to the speeds that I was doing for you initially, that would take a couple of years of practice.
Yeah, so it's easier than French, but it's a commitment. I mean, you can't do it in a day or two. What's fascinating though, isn't it? Because we've had a resurgence in people buying vinyl discs. There is a real desire sometimes to use these older technologies. It's got an appeal that the digital age can never quite match somehow, to certain people at least.
You know, I believe that people are tiring of the immediacy of all the things at their fingertips and getting instant gratification. You know, Morse code has been around for quite some time, and it's a very efficient and yet romantic way to communicate. And as a matter of fact, learning Morse code and using it is good for exercising the brain, so it keeps your mind young.
You've made the case very well, Howard, if I may say. So thank you very much. Why don't you just say goodbye in the language we're talking about?
We say the numbers 73s, and then we give 2 dots at the end of the transmission, 2 bits, dot, 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 dot. So we go like this. The 73s would sound like this. And then we go like this.
Howard Bernstein from the Long Island CW Club, which offers Morse code training. Lots of people apparently learning it in the UK. It actually sounds quite fun, doesn't it?